When you think about it, whether you're looking for a job or trying to get that promotion, or honestly, even just interacting socially, you're always making an impression.
People are constantly forming opinions.
Exactly. And figuring out how to consciously shape those perceptions,
Yeah.
that's your personal brand,
Yeah.
right? It can be a real game changer.
It really can.
So this deep dive, we're focusing on how to get strategic about it, how to define and really communicate what makes you uniquely valuable.
That's spot on. It reminds me of that Jeff Bezos quote, your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room.
Right.
And our goal today, looking at some great sources, is basically to help you make sure what they're saying is, accurate, compelling, and really sets you apart.
Absolutely. And it's not just spin, is it? Having a strong personal brand has real, tangible benefits.
Definitely.
We're talking better visibility, a wider network that actually works for you, maybe new doors opening.
And even just understanding yourself better, your strengths, what you're passionate about.
Yeah, that too. So to help us unpack all this, we've got a couple of really insightful sources.
We do. First up is a Harvard Business Review article, A New Approach to Building Your Personal Brand. It's by Jill Avery and Rachel Greenwald, and it gives a really structured approach.
Okay.
And then we're also drawing on some real-world stuff. Chris Hutchkins from the Niche Pursuits podcast talked on YouTube about how he turned a side project into a thriving personal brand.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and we'll also pull from Patrick Dang's video, How to Build a Profitable Personal Brand from Scratch with AI, which looks at, using today's tools.
Got it. So the mission here is to pull out the actionable steps, the key insights from all these, and give you, the listener, a practical guide, something you can use to build your brand or, just make it stronger.
Exactly, a practical toolkit.
Okay, let's jump right in. Avery and Greenwald say the first crucial step is defining your purpose.
That's it. They argue the foundation, the bedrock, is having that clear long-term vision. What impact do you want to make? Professionally, personally?
Right. What are your guiding principles?
And then they have this really interesting concept that they call it your through line.
Through line. Okay.
Yeah, it's about looking back and identifying those consistent threads, things that keep showing up, interests, skills, character traits, things you see again and again.
Ah, okay. So finding that pattern in your past experiences.
Exactly. And recognizing that gives you a kind of compass for the future. The idea isn't just nostalgia, it's finding those recurring themes that really energize you and fit where you want to go.
And those become threads you can weave into your brand story, making it feel authentic.
Precisely. And connecting that through line to where you want to go, that leads to crafting your personal value proposition.
Right, a value proposition. So it's basically a clear statement about who you help, what you offer.
Yeah. Who you serve, the unique benefit you bring them, who else is doing something similar to your competition.
Ah, the competitive cohort.
Right. And crucially, what makes you distinctly capable of delivering that value? They have a template, sort of 4 key questions.
Okay, like what?
First, who's your target audience? Second, what specific memorable value do you bring? Third, who else is in the running? Your competitors. And fourth, what are your unique capabilities? Your proof points.
Okay, that makes sense. They gave an example, didn't they? The IT professional.
They did, yeah. It was something like, for a prospective employer, I'm the best cybersecurity manager among all applicants because of my certifications and the leadership and perseverance I got from being a Visionite athlete.
See, that's so clear. Instantly tells you who they are, the value, and the why them.
Exactly. Concise and impactful.
So once you've kind of got that purpose nailed down, what's next? Avery and Greenwald talk about auditing your brand equity.
Yes, auditing your current brand equity. Think of equity as the overall value and perception people have of your brand right now. What do they know, feel, say about you?
Okay, and how do you break that down?
They suggest looking at 3 things. Awareness, how many people even know who you are. Associations, what comes to mind when they think of you. Feelings, opinions, and can of Jimmer. Meaning, what stories do they connect with you?
Right, so this means really taking inventory.
Absolutely. Cataloging your credentials, education, experiences, achievements, your hard facts.
And then your network, social capital.
Yep, mapping out your connections. And also your cultural capital. The specific knowledge, maybe from your background, hobbies, interests, stuff that helps you connect or understand different contexts.
It sounds like more than just listing things on a resume, though.
Oh, definitely. They really stress brainstorming specific descriptive adjectives, words that truly capture who you are. So not just smart, but maybe highly analytical or innovative problem solver.
Digging deeper for the words that really fit and differentiate you.
Exactly. Find what resonates.
Okay, and then comes this slightly scary part. Market research. Asking people for feedback.
Yeah. Maybe a little daunting, but so valuable. They call it seeking honest feedback from truth tellers.
Truth tellers. I like that. People who will actually tell you straight.
Right. Colleagues, friends, maybe even someone who rejected you for something, their perspective could be gold.
But how do you ask without it being, super awkward? Any tips there?
That's a fair question. I think it's about framing it genuinely. Like, hey, I'm working on my professional development and trying to understand how I come across. I'd really value your honest perspective.
Okay, framing it as growth.
Yeah. And maybe give them specific areas. I'm curious how my communication skills are perceived. Or something like that. Makes it easier for them.
And those open-ended questions they suggest seem good too. Like, how would you describe me to a stranger?
Or what 3 words come to mind professionally. It helps uncover the narrative that's already out there about you.
And you can get more specific too, right? Asking them to rate you on the attributes you want to project.
Exactly. Compare their view with your own. That can reveal some really important blind spots or areas where you're already strong.
And the final piece of the audit is looking at the competition.
Yeah, assessing yourself against others in your space. What skills do they have? What credentials? What makes them unique? It helps you pinpoint your true points of difference.
And maybe where you need to level up a bit.
Precisely. Very insightful.
Okay, so we've defined our purpose, audited where we stand. Now it's time to actually craft the story, the personal narratives.
Exactly. Avery and Greenwald make a great point. A brand isn't just facts, it's built on stories. Compelling ones.
You need to find those stories.
Right. Think about times you felt really authentic, or when you stood out, or when you really lived up to the brand you want to have. Those moments are your raw material.
They contrast just reciting your resume in an interview.
Which is just a list, really.
With sharing illustrative stories. Like, don't just say, I'm a problem solver. Tell a story about solving a problem.
Yes. Show, don't just tell. Describe the challenge, what you did, the outcome. Much more memorable.
And even small talk can be an opportunity, right? The where are you from example.
Yeah, instead of just Phoenix, maybe, originally Phoenix, it's such a hub for tech innovation, which has always fascinated me. It subtly drops a hint about your interests, potentially your brand.
It all ties back to making that value proposition stick in people's minds through stories.
Absolutely. Storytelling is key.
Okay, step 4 then is about embodying the brand, living it.
Right. Avery and Greenwald remind us that every single interaction, online or offline, adds to your brand story. People are always watching, always forming impressions.
Even something as simple as, how are you?
Exactly. A generic answer is a missed opportunity. Instead, maybe share something brief but positive and aligned with your brand. Doing well, actually just read this fascinating article about relevant topic.
So not being fake, but being intentional.
Precisely. Especially with new people or those whose view you want to shape. Understand what they might need or be interested in and communicate your value clearly. It's not about being on 237 with close friends.
But being mindful in those key interactions. Looking for natural ways to weave in those stories and attributes.
You got it. Finding those conversational openings.
Which leads us neatly into step 5.
Yeah.
Actually communicating the brand story. They talk about a media plan.
Yeah, using the classic categories, owned, earned, and paid media.
Okay, so owned is stuff you control. Your LinkedIn, website, blog posts.
Exactly. Your platform's earned media is basically your reputation in action press mentions, recommendations, people sharing your stuff. It's publicity you didn't directly pay for.
Gotcha. And paid is paying for visibility. Ads, consultants.
Right. Investing resources to boost your reach. But the crucial thing, they say, is tailoring it.
Tailoring it to your audience.
Yes, and where they hang out. Reaching potential employers is different from reaching freelance clients, for example. You need different tactics.
This makes me think of Chris Hutchins and his podcast, All the Hacks. He was pretty strategic about launching that.
He really was. Leveraged his existing network, collaborated with a big YouTuber early on, gave him a huge initial boost.
Smart.
And what I found really interesting from him was his focus on creating content he was personally passionate about.
Right. He said that made it sustainable.
Yeah, because creating content is hard work. If you're not genuinely interested, it's tough to keep going long term. Makes it feel more authentic, too.
And Patrick Dang also stresses content, even with AI helping out now.
He does. But he adds a crucial caveat. Have your business idea or your offering figured out first. Don't just create content for content's sake.
Right. Have substance behind the style.
Exactly.
Okay, step 6. Socializing your brand.
Mhm.
Getting others involved.
Yeah, Avery and Greenwald point out that your stories are much more credible when other people tell them.
Word of mouth, essentially.
Kind of, yeah, but more strategic. They talk about identifying different types of people in your network.
Like who?
Gatekeepers, people who control access. Influencers, people whose opinions matter to your audience. Promoters, your champions, people who actively root for you. And personal brand communities, groups where you connect with peers or potential clients.
Okay, so identify these people,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Proactively connect. Build the relationship. Then be clear about your goals and make specific, straightforward asks for help. People often want to help, but you need to tell them how.
makes sense, don't be vague.
Right. And this lines up perfectly with what Chris Hutchins said about building that network over your whole career.
Yeah, he mentioned being willing to ask for favors when launching something new. Those relationships pay off.
They really do.
All right, let's talk money. Monetization. What did Dang and Hutchins say about that?
Well, Patrick Dang outlined a few main paths. You can sell your services directly. You can sell information like coaching or courses.
And for products.
Right. Or do a hybrid, a mix of both.
And he had some interesting thoughts on pricing, didn't he? Aim high.
He did. He suggested thinking in the $2,000 to $5,000 range for premium stuff. His logic is that setting a higher price forces you to deliver massive value.
And justifies your expertise. Makes you level up your own game.
Kind of, yeah. Let your brain justify the value you need to provide. He also talked about this creator-founder ascension path.
Ascension path. Sounds grand.
Maybe a bit. But the idea is, first, you get paid for skills. Then you get paid for your knowledge. And eventually, if your brand is strong enough, you get paid just for being you, for your influence.
Interesting progression.
And a key piece of advice from him was focus on sales first.
Before perfecting the product or service.
Yeah. Make sure people actually want to buy it before you get totally bogged down in delivery details. Avoids building something nobody pays for.
Practical. What about Hutchins' experience? Podcasts and sponsors.
He shared that sponsors usually want to see a pretty big, engaged audience. They're looking at ROI, return on investment.
Makes sense. So for smaller creators.
Affiliate programs can be a better starting point, recommending products or services you use and getting a cut.
But he also warned about relying only on affiliates, right? Income streams can disappear.
Exactly. He mentioned exploring memberships or maybe direct referral links to diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Good advice. Okay, final stretch. Growth strategies and mistakes to avoid.
Right. Hutchins was pretty candid that podcast growth is often slow and steady, hard work.
No magic bullet.
Not really. He mentioned podcast advertising and being a guest on other shows as key tactics.
And his story about getting on Tim Ferriss's podcast was amazing. I've talked about strategic.
Totally. He did his homework, found gaps in past interviews, asked really smart questions, gave Ferriss a reason to say yes, provided value first.
Lesson learned there.
And Hutchins also shared a regret not going all in on his personal brand sooner. He was worried about the risk.
But realized later it was worth it.
Yeah, and that focusing on creating valuable stuff he cared about was more important than just chasing famous guests. Authenticity again.
And Patrick Dang.
Yeah.
What were his thoughts on growth and pitfalls?
He talked about the dip. That initial period in any venture where it feels like you're putting in effort but not seeing results.
The tough part.
Yeah, and he stressed pushing through that. Perseverance is key. He also made a really relevant point for today. With so much AI content out there, the messenger you, your personality, how you show up is just as important, maybe more important, than the message itself.
Building trust, making a connection.
Exactly. People connect with people.
He even mentioned things like appearance, aesthetics, tone of voice.
Yeah, paying attention to the whole package online to build that trust and credibility. And he had a very modern tip. Use AI tools to get feedback on your vibe.
Get AI feedback on your vibe. Okay, interesting.
A sign of the times, right? But it all leads back to the final step in the Avery and Greenwald framework. Reevaluating and refining.
Right, it's not a one-and-done thing.
Definitely not. It's ongoing. You need to constantly assess, is my value proposition still right? Are my stories landing? How are people actually perceiving me?
They suggest doing an annual brand audit.
Yeah, check back in with those truth tellers. Make sure your view matches reality. And then adjust. Learn new skills, get new experiences, tweak your narrative, adapt.
So wrapping it all up, building a strong personal brand is, well, It's a journey.
It really is. It takes self-reflection, feedback, crafting that narrative, living it consistently, communicating smartly.
And being willing to revisit and refine it all along the way.
Absolutely.
And while all these tools, AI included, can definitely help.
They're just tools. Your authentic voice, your story, the real value you bring, that's what ultimately makes you stand out.
Couldn't agree more.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. In this world that's increasingly shaped by AI, how are you going to blend your unique personal brand with these tools to become truly memorable and reach your goals? What's that through line going to be for your story?
A lot to think about. We definitely encourage you to keep exploring these ideas and actively working on your own powerful personal brand.